I'm told that I qualify for an entrepreneur. One of the reasons is I started to get about business when I was 12 years old. That's 1, 2. When my father was coming in the afternoon from work and used to ask me, instead of playing ball like everyone, or basketball or football, he used to tell me, prepare this telex for me. How many of you know the telex machine? Still remember the telex machine? Okay. That's like a typewriter, but to send a message across places. It came after telegram, but just before the fax. So I started to learn about what business was, how to configure a letter, how to prepare a letter, and this is how I got to be initiated. And then I come from a very different background, which is oil and gas. My family runs one of the largest business in the Near East, privately owned, of oil and gas. I had this business right now as one of the partners. But in 95, my brother George, who lives in San Francisco, and one of our partners, Laurent Delifer, is here. I salute you, Laurent. Called me once and told me, you know, there is this great thing called the internet, and I think we should start something in Lebanon similar to that. And I told him, George, I don't have time for this, really. I'm swamped with work. He said, no, you have to try it. Don't do anything. I'm going to send you a computer, a modem, and the instruction manual, and a software called Netscape. You just run this, get the connection, and at the time it was X25 encapsulated over IP, this very slow, 9,600 BPS. And he told me, try it out. And this is how we started actually the first internet business in the region, privately owned, 1995. So this company came to be one of the largest in Lebanon and one of the largest in the region for access. But why am I telling you all this? Because I'm going to tell you about entrepreneurship and my social responsibility towards the people that I'd like to help, which are young people. And 6, 7 years ago, I was asked by one of the leading universities of Lebanon to head up the incubation, an incubation park, which is called Berytech. And this, I think, if successful people, I'm not counting myself, but if successful people want to do something about their community, this is the kind of thing to do. And this is the story of Berytech. By the way, I'm in my 3rd mandate. I never thought that I was going to last that long. But helping people is really a challenge and something that I like to do. So why is Lebanon a breeding ground for entrepreneurship? Basically, 3 or 4 main points. Multilingual, entrepreneurial, sophisticated talent with international exposure. 2, with established regional player knowledge industry. Leading universities that we have in Lebanon with various relevant facilities and discipline in the tech field, and substantial number of private sector players and NGOs supporting knowledge industry. So there is the grounds to do something successful. A quick also information about the landscape of SME. There are about 80,000 active companies in Lebanon, and mostly have less than 10 employees. So it's the perfect ground, breeding ground for entrepreneurship and SME. And out of those, most are in Beirut and the surrounding areas. Sole proprietorship is 59%. SAL, which is common stock company, is only 5%. The sectors, mainly commerce and services, 81%, little industry, and with a turnover of less than 250,000 for 60% of those companies. So Lebanon is a typical place for SME. So this is why you see Lebanese entrepreneurship everywhere, and you see Lebanese people heading mainly large companies all over the world, because they had what it takes to become an entrepreneur. And this is what companies, multinational, look for, entrepreneurship. Very quickly, the ecosystem in Lebanon and the timeline. It started in 2001 with Berytech being the first incubation. There are a number of supporting institutions and supporting programs. The Ministry of Economy and Trade in 2004 set up a unit, 2006 some initiatives, 2007 the Badir Fund for those who know about this, MIT Entrepreneurship Forum, HP Map, lots of activities after 2007. The Berytech Fund, which I had also, it's a small fund, not by any means a large fund, $6 million and somehow dollars, but it's enough to start something in Lebanon, and it's enough to start small businesses in Lebanon and businesses that want to do into the ICT. The incubation, to go back to the incubation, we have today 2 sites. One is situated at the university campus, which is about 5,000 square meters, and the second one, which is in Beirut at the science campus, which is about 3,500 square meters. We've created, or we've helped companies create more than 500 jobs in the ICT sector over the past few years, and we've supported more than 150 entrepreneurs, and we currently host about 80 companies. So our mission is to contribute to the development of the economy by helping entrepreneurs set up, develop, grow their business in a good, conducive environment. And what I mean by conducive environment, it's not just the premises, it's the whole ecosystem that we create. We want to create a place where people can exchange information, can understand what it takes to become an entrepreneur, can help each other, and can pass on business one to the other. By the way, you see, every morning when I wake up, I try to say, I want to learn something today. And if you add up the number of things that you learn, then you become a very resourceful person. This morning, I was reading the paper, and something really took my eyes, which was the fact that in Qatar, His Highness, the Emir of Qatar, created today something called the Small Business Administration Board, which is something I think extremely important, and I think this has a lot of vision. The second thing, we had in the morning Mr. Kawasaki, who was really interesting. I don't know how many of you followed Mr. Kawasaki. Okay, I think he was really interesting, and I went and I got his book, Enchantment. You have to read it, because some people just go get the book because there is a signature and then just put it in the library. Read the book, it's really interesting. The first few pages at least really enchanted me myself. The third thing is something that we know. We heard Muhammad Murad about Google. He said that every day there are 4 billion requests. People ask, search and 4 billion requests. Did anyone ask how those people, where those questions were being asked? Who was answering all these questions? So this is what entrepreneurship and internet is about. It's about when you can get something of a lot of value to a lot of people. This is my definition of entrepreneurship. And fourth, I think the state of Qatar, really frankly, is doing a lot, because by doing what this forum is about, helping entrepreneurs, not just for the Qatar, but for the region, is absolutely something of great importance. So I think this this calls for a round of applause for Qatar. So again, to go back to my presentation, I still have 10 minutes here. That's what's the funny part. Why we created, or why Berytech was created? Berytech was created to limit brain drain. You know that a lot of countries face this problem, people leaving the country because of better opportunities elsewhere. So by creating Berytech, by helping entrepreneurs take their ideas to the stage of a company, you limit the brain drain, you keep the young people, you keep the resources in the country. And it's obviously reverse migration. So we have a lot of successful companies. I invite you to go to the Berytech website to check those companies. This is a quick view of the campus, the second building. As I said, it's not just about providing the infrastructure, providing the offices. It's about supporting the people, giving them the finance, capabilities, giving them the possibility to ask any question they want, from marketing to business questions. Again, views of Berytech. Mentoring, I think someone is going to talk about mentoring in a while. Mentorship is something extremely important. What we bring in the fund, and by the way, we've invested out of the $6 million, we've invested so far something like $3.5 million. But what we bring to the table is not just the money, because money, there's money everywhere, really. What we bring to the table is the support and the mentorship, the guidance. What we found, at least in this part of the world, Lebanon, is that young people that are motivated, that have ideas, often don't know how to build a business plan. Often they don't know what it really takes. They always underestimate the cost, and they over-evaluate the sales. They think because they have a good idea, everybody is going to buy into it. Well, it's not true. Helping people by putting seasoned CEO, someone that has retired but wants to help young people, is something very important. So we have people that want to help younger people that come and sit on the board of the company and really guide those young entrepreneurs into their everyday life. I'm going to skip that, it's not important. We have many accreditations. I talked about the fund. We invest anywhere in equity money from $100,000 to $1.2 million per instance, and we have a very systematic approach. We have a management committee, then we have an investment committee, and then we take it to the board. So it's very transparent. We have Cisco and Intel on board of the investors, and I've put some of my money as well. So it tells you how much I believe in it. I've talked about the number of companies we've helped, 150 entities hosted so far, 80 entities graduated, 550 jobs created, 200 entrepreneurs trained, and more than $450,000 given out in grants. And by the way, we're self-sustainable. We don't ask for money every year. The money that we collect from the rental of the premises, we invest it again. And this is how we make the money. And you're most welcome to visit, as I said, our website. And thank you for your attention.